Hello everybody, this is Hobby here, just going back to my room tour once again. Well, mostly just my collection as well. And I wanted to give you guys an update as to what's been going on here. And the biggest update that I have just to show you is this entertainment set that my wife found on Free Market. Sorry, Marketplace. Yeah, I'm trying to get used to that name. And she got this free. This whole set, and as you would guess, it took nothing but blood, sweat, and tears just to put this all together. It was incredibly frustrating. I won't deny that. It was a mess. It was a nightmare, but you know what? We actually got this all put together. As you can see, a lot of our games are down here. A lot of our cases. This is where I put the Switch at. Don't have to switch to yet, but one of these days I will. And right here, I got Sega Dreamcast with its Sega games inside. As you can see there, I got Soul Calibur, Space Channel 5, Gradius 2, Choo Choo Rocket. And also, this is not a Dreamcast game, but this is one of the first games I've ever played. And I got this for actually for $3 at a game store. I think it was pretty close to where Hollywood was at back when I was still living in California. And I'm glad that I got all this, including with the instructions manual, because I mean, it's kind of the thing about these games is that it's very rare to find these instruction manuals with the game case and everything in it, but it's extremely rare to find a bunch of these games with everything in it. I mean, I'm actually happy that I got this for dirt cheap. And I will never let go of it. So yeah, these are all of my games that I've collected for years. And let me bring this more closer. There we go. And I don't know where the first Metroid Prime is at, because I know I do have it somewhere in the house. But and especially some of my N64 and SNES games that I've kept. Same goes for my PlayStation games, all the way from the first one up to the fifth one. I don't know where the first one oh yeah, it's in the living room. But which I will show you. And these are my displays of my PS1 and my PS2. And same goes for my PS3 and PS5. If you're wondering where the PS4 is at, you know what? My wife held on to the PS4 back at her old house, and since the PS5 is backwards compatible with the PS4 games, then I don't really need to worry about it. But one of these days we'll bring it here. So this is my Star Wars collection back when, Disney was just not destroying the franchise completely. Actually, I was still I don't have any of the sequel trilogy stuff in here because I don't want it in my house. I do have some of the Mandalorian stuff, mostly when season 1 was tolerable, I guess. But yeah, I mean, compared to what the rest of the show became, you'd rather off watch season 1 over every other season that came after it. And no, I do not care to watch Mandalorian Grogu movie because that looks like garbage, and it just looks like it's just capitalizing too much on Grogu, and it's almost like a desperate attempt to actually make something good out of it. So, and especially for the fact that I heard that it needs to make close to $2 billion in order to break even. Oof. That's going to be an interesting outcome of a story to actually watch one of these days. And this is the VHS box set of the original trilogy. This is very hard to find, by the way. I mean, it's extremely rare to find one that's factory sealed. And I'm just glad that I found this used at a Goodwill, I'd say about 10 years ago. And I was just kind of shocked. And by the way, I don't try to look for this stuff. I just happen to find them whenever I see it. So I don't really have like a specific list of things that I'm hunting for over the internet. They just basically, I just find them and I buy them. That's basically how all this works. And just with the original artwork as well. If I can get this out. I mean, who would not want to have this in their house? I mean, look at that. And especially for the artist whose name I'm trying to remember. He passed away, I think, last year, and I'm actually kind of saddened that I don't remember his name. But yeah, for those of you who do remember his name, I would please put it down. That way, I can say rest in peace in a very respectful way. I just wish I could do it in this video, but yeah, I'm glad that I got this one for. I think I found this for like less than $5. But like I said, if it was factory sealed, it would have been worth a lot more than that. And here is my Darth Vader collection, starting with Big Spud Vader. And here is some of the stuff. This one was a gift given to me that was made in Albuquerque, right here, handcrafted from last year. And all this other stuff I got from just collected for the past, like, I'd say about half of my lifetime. And and right here I do have myself a golf ball, the Death Star, and right there is a flash drive of Darth Vader. And that's actually a fun fact, this is a flash drive. And right up there is more Star Wars stuff. As you can see, this is Darth Vader. That's Luke Skywalker in the ceremony in the end of the first movie. And then you got Lando, and then rest in peace to the actor who played as Admiral Akbar. Which, you know what, now it's our turn for us to describe. Now it is our turn to describe what is a trap. And that's good old Ness from Earthbound. That's Vegeta. That's a gift that I got from a friend who was doing a missions trip in Japan once. And he just gave me these deck of trading cards of Dragon Ball Z trading cards. I think it goes all the way up to, I think the whole Dragon Ball Z series as well. I haven't opened that up in a long time. And that is my my Megadeth and my Iron Maiden figures up there. So awesome. I'm glad I got those at the time when I sell them over at For Your Entertainment store. And that's the Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F movie poster I got when I went to see it in theaters. Hopefully one of these days I'll get this signed by some of the cast. Unfortunately, I can't get everyone's name on it, like Chris Ayers, who, rest in peace, my good man. I wish I got the time to meet you, because I've heard nothing but good, positive things about you, but you have given us great memories as Frieza. So thank you very much, Chris Ayers. Thank you. And we're just going to go through a little bit more of my Star Wars collection, not to get overtracked. Here's some of my Stormtroopers and Spud Trooper. There's my R2-D2 Potato Head, and also the golf ball as well, and a couple of other variants of R2-D2 as well as C-3PO. And here comes my wife's collection of Nightmare Before Christmas stuff. A lot of them are snow globes, as you can see right there. Some of them unfortunately cracked when whatever bookshelves just collapsed, and well, that's kind of the end result. But yeah, they do work still. Just, the broken globes and all. But yeah, she's collected so many in the past couple of years. A bunch of mugs and cups and figurines. I wish I had my LED lamp on me, but I don't, and I don't know where it's at. That's why. More figures, as you can see. There we go. I actually enjoy Nightmare Before Christmas, just not as much as my wife does. But it's a fun little series that I enjoy. And I don't find it that bad. I like it. And then we got more of the stuff right here. There's my Project Scorpio edition of the Xbox One. There is my picture, is my poster of Death Note. It's my PS4 box. Um, it's actually my sister's, but she didn't care to keep the box at all, so I kept it. This is where I keep a lot of my a lot of my Game Boy Advance games. A lot of them are basically just a bunch of bootleg copies. Oh, there's my Game Boy Player, which I do have the system itself. I do have the disc. What I didn't realize from, I think it was from Metal Jesus, who said that the disc is very rare to get, which is why when you buy the Game Boy Player, they're always missing the Game Boy Player disc. So I found that to be very interesting. And here is my timeline in church history class that I took back in Bible college, where I have of all the 7 churches from the New Testament all the way to present day. I wrote that all down. And there's my Stadia, which, you know, I think it was just ahead of its time and just people weren't ready for it, especially for how I was supposed to, like, you need a certain amount of data for Wi-Fi, and many people just didn't have that specific data just to make it run very well. And it, like I said, it was ahead of its time, and we just weren't ready for it, and that's why it failed, to my opinion. And there's my Metroid Prime Trilogy poster. It's awesome. I wish I had another one that way I could show the flip side, the reverse behind it. But I just don't have it on me, unfortunately. And there's my wife's Wicked for Good popcorn bucket. There's the watches that we use for Super Nintendo World over in Universal's Epic Universe. I do have a couple of Epic Universe stuff in my house, especially for my shirt that you see I'm wearing right now. Look at that. Awesome. And there's Arthas. He doesn't have the sword, unfortunately, because my dog chewed it up. Here is my my Fully Cooley poster that one of my friends in college made for me, as well as some Super Mario decor pictures that I got from Target. And there's a lithograph I got from Dave & Buster's. Here's an awesome creepy poster of Wolverine. I say it's creepy, just look at that face and look at him point that finger. It's like, yeah, you want some of this. Yeah. And here's a glass case that you've seen before. This time we're using it for my wife's miniature houses. There's a box that she's ready to make one of these days. There's her little mini village, and it does have the light on. Let me see if I could find the light switch for this. Should be somewhere right about on. Alright, where is it? Oh. Here you go. Look at that. Nice. And yes, she has them in here just because. So, just look at the detail. Oh man, this is a really nice detailed mini house that she made. Not really the biggest fan. Now looking at it now for this video, I kind of like this a lot, actually. So yeah, those were mini sets. Let me just turn off. Oh shoot. Yeah. Where is it? Hold on. So here is the rest of my wall right over here. I almost forgot to mention the Better Call Saul poster I got for Christmas several years ago. A good old friend of mine's. And there's my Dragon Ball poster. I got this as well as that from the Wish app, which I don't use anymore because I'm tired of their long overdue wait times. But this one I got for Chrono Trigger on the DS. In case you're wondering what that stain is right there. Whenever renovating my old house, they just didn't care that much, and they slattered all the hand soap right there, and I was just so mad. But here it is, all the other stuff at the Retron 5. I know that's not everyone's favorite, but I enjoy it just fine. Not perfect, but you know what? It does the job done 90% of the time. Let's just put it that way. Then we got Snoopy right there, crocheted, as well as a little, I don't know what to call these, but my mom-in-law made it. And I forgot the name of this, but this one is like a little mini 801 game sets you buy like over at like a drugstore and all that stuff. It's really fun to play. There's my Game Boy box that I got, where you can put in all your Game Boy stuff inside. Right behind this, I got the DSi box, the R4, which some of you probably remembered. I'm one of the fortunate people who actually got it. It's actually a fun, it was a fun device for its time when it was first released. There's the 3DS box. There's the Oculus box. There's the, jeez, I forgot what this is called. The, this is basically Nitro Deck that was, made in the design of the GameCube for the Switch. And also, my Monster Hunter Rise Nintendo Switch box, which I still use to this day. The only reason for why I got this is because that was the only Nintendo Switch console they had for me to buy. So, yeah, and then right over here, yeah. How can I forget? My manga collection. Some of these are my wife's, like Ai Yuri Asoshi. It's one of them. I haven't read this yet, but I think I'll give it a try, give it a pick one of these days and read it. And yes, I do have the entire Akira set right here. Well, not the set, but the entire Akira manga library right here. I read all of them. It's a great story to read, especially when it gets to this half, which gets even crazier than the first half, which is what the movie's based off of. Even then, this is, I mean, I gotta tell you, the manga and the movies, for those of you who don't know, are way different. And if you read these these first 3 volumes right here, you know what I mean. And this is a very good conclusion to the end of the whole series. If you guys have not read Akira, you should. And you see here, Alice in the Country of Hearts. I haven't read that yet. I just got it recently. Baki. I haven't read this yet. The reason for why I haven't read Baki yet, even though it's my favorite anime, as I've mentioned it before, I'm actually in the process of reading One Piece right now. It's just long overdue, but I'm actually working on it as we speak. Battle Angel Alita series. I got the first 2 volumes of the first series. Then I got Last Order as well. I haven't finished reading them, nor have I finished collecting all of them yet, but I will one of these days. Great story. The movie, it tried, but it pales in comparison. It doesn't really do as much justice as I remembered. However, then we got to Beauty Pop, which a friend of mine back in Bible college made me get the first volume as like a joke. He laughed at me when I paid money for it. But I ended up liking it. It's fun. I enjoy it. Beauty and the Beast, The Beast's Tale. I haven't read this before. This is my wife's. That's one of those I'll get to read. And I only got up to the Eclipse of Berserk. Hopefully one of these days I'll get back into it and start collecting more of Berserk. Just not right now for reasons I'm not going to get into. Then we have Bleach, which actually, the reason for why you don't see Volume 2 is because I'm actually doing something pretty fun for you guys one of these days. And no, I haven't collected all of it yet, but one of these days I will. I just need the space, time, and money to do that, as you can tell. Burn the Witch, I have read like the first 2 chapters. One of these days I'll get back into it. Card Capture Sakura. That was my dog, Jolene. And Yeah, Cardcaptor Sakura. That was like a series from my childhood that I will be getting more of these pretty soon, especially for this is hardcover. I would definitely get more of these. I've always loved Clamp. They're great at their artwork. Claymore is another one I've been meaning to get more of. Then Shin-Chan. Oh man, do I love this series. It's hilarious. And it's basically like South Park before South Park was made. Crossbreak, I got that used. Haven't read it yet. Death Note, I got the whole series right over here. And rest in peace, Akira Toriyama. I got some of your stuff. Oh, also Demon Slayer. I can't miss that out yet. You know what? I like the first arc a lot, but after that, I didn't really bother getting into it more as I wanted to. And yes, I got this Orange Bomb flavored soda of Dragon Ball Super of Goku Blue, and there's more of Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super. My favorite manga series of all time right now, Fist of the North Star. I'm going to be getting more. It's a fantastic story that, let's just be honest with each other here. If it weren't for this, I don't think violent anime would be here today as it is now. Especially how it inspired another series that I will actually show in a second. Full Metal Alchemist 1 and 2. I'll be getting more of these because I love hardcover as well as the detail behind it, and I also love the story. Fully Cooley Volumes 1 and 2. I got those too. Fruits Basket. It's okay. I'm not that big and crazy on the story whatsoever, but I kind of understand the appeal behind it. And Fushigi Yugi, I have not read this yet. This is my wife's mangas that she's collected. Ghost in the Shell. You know what? This is the only volume I got. I've yet to get the first volume soon. It's one of those series where I want to get into, but I'm just not that crazy about it, unfortunately. Gorgeous Carrot. Gorgeous Carrot. I don't know anything about it, but I know my wife has collected these, and oh man, I can see why she finds so much favoritism towards this, because oh man, yeah, those are definitely nice looking men. And Gunsmith's Cats 1 through 3, I've read all 3 of these. I don't have the 4th volume for the revised edition because those are out of print, which means they go up for asking for outrageous amounts of money. Just look it up and you'll see I'm not wrong on that whatsoever. And JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. This is the series I was talking about that basically was inspired by Fist of the North Star. If you read the first volume, you know exactly what I mean. And yeah, it's just another one of those series where it'll take forever for me to collect, let alone a series that I need a huge wad of money for me to actually finish keeping up and collecting. And also the same goes for Junji Ito, who I love with a passion. I think he's a great mangaka. There is just he has written so much for me to even keep track of, but man, he is not someone who you want to ignore. Then you got King of Thorn, which I never read because it's my wife's. Komi Can't Communicate, which is a fun manga series as well as a fun anime. Land of the Blindfolded, never read it. Life, which I got recently, I've yet to read it. Actually, the Zelda mangas I've yet to read, which my wife has collected in the past, and I've actually read Ocarina of Time so far. I haven't read Link to the Past, Majora's Mask, or Twilight Princess, but you know what? I'll give them a read one of these days, right after I start reading Baki. And then you have Luna, which I don't know about. I mean, it does look like it's made from the same guy who made dot hack signs, mostly because this one does look like the main character, who I'm saying that very, very, very loosely because I saw one episode Doc had signs, and it was okay. I'm not as crazy about it as most people are. And we got the manga classics from classic stories like Great Expectations, Les Miserables, and The Count of Monte Cristo, which my wife loves these classic stories a lot, by the way. She is a huge fan. By the way, men from like Counts of Monte Cristo and Great Expectations with like long dark hair. It's the reason for why I grew up my hair, because she wants to. And this was covering up from a friend of mine who made these and sold these and printed these. This is a really nice piece. This is basically like a child, like it's almost like a Rugrats type of version of Noah's Ark, as you can tell just by looking at it. And here's my Neon Genesis collection mangas that I got. You know what? I think I'll be doing a review of this series so far one of these days, of the anime, the movies, as well as the manga, just to like show how each and every one of them has like a very interesting connection with each other. I know that sounds kind of weird for some of you people, but one of these days I'll explain it. There's so far my One Piece collection. Yeah, I know I am very way behind in the game on that one, but like I said, time, money, space. Same goes for One Punch Man. I got volume 21 used because I know one of these days I'll catch up to it. Rurouni Kenshin, same story, but I don't know how to talk about that series now, knowing what happened to Nobuhiro Watsuki, or Watsuki, however you want to pronounce his last name. Well, yeah, it's really difficult for me to describe. I mean, I could describe the series just well. It's just that, unfortunately, the revelation of the creator is just, it's tragic. But overall, I'm just going to say this. Don't let that fact persuade you for not reading this awesome, epic story. Just, it's more like you have to take the artist away from the artwork, if that makes any sense. If you understand what I mean. I hope you do. But like I said, it's a great story. I loved reading every single volume of it, every chapter of it. Basically, it's one of those stories that's fiction. It's like historical fiction, and uses that perfectly, I believe. Right in here, I got Sailor Moon 1 through 12, the entire series right here. I got Samurai 7, volumes 1 and 2. One of these days, I'll get to reading volume 2 and finishing that. I only have one volume of Scott Pilgrim. I don't know why, but I just do. Some Days Dreamers. That's my wife's manga. I've never read it. Super Mario mangas. Yeah, I just love these so much. They're great, hilarious looking imagery, pictures, as well as like a great amount of poop jokes. That does tell stories from like different Mario games, like Mario, Yoshi's Story, as well as Mario 64. Spy Family. Hopefully one of these days I'll start getting to the series. And I got almost all of Trigun. I just don't have up to volume 14 yet, but it will happen. Tsubasa, I've never read, don't know what it's about. I know it's Clamp, so I'm expecting some goodness out of it. Ultra Maniac, never read it, don't know what that is. It's my wife's. And, Vagabond. Now this is a series I've been meaning to get into. I just bought this one not long ago. I'd say about a few months ago. And it's kind of recent to me still. So I am still new to it. Basically, for those of you guys that don't know, this is about the story of the Musashi Miyamoto. It's a good story. It's good artwork, good everything. I just love learning about Miyamoto, Musashi Miyamoto. Now knowing who he was, I didn't know who he was until I saw Baki, and just seeing like just learning about like how great of a samurai he was back in the day. And so far this story has actually done a pretty good job at telling it. Don't still know that much about his history, but that's a good read so far. This one I got over at Anime Expo in 2016 in Los Angeles. Manga samplers of like different stories that are coming out at the time, and some of these I know is the fact that you guys have seen already, like Black Clover, right there in the top left corner. Is one of them, and is that other basketball anime I've never seen before, but that's actually pretty popular these days. And here's the first 3 volumes of X, 1999. I am actually meaning to get more of these because, I mean, I like this. I don't remember the story, but I remember liking it. And it's a good story, and it's a great artwork, especially from Clamp, from who, like I said, always does a great job of this at their artwork. Then I have Yu Yu Hakusho, and I got one of the limited edition copies right here. And which one is this? 328. Is that 3? Hold on, 325 out of 5,000. So yeah, this is. I always like getting mangas or anything that has this kind of style detail to it. It's always been a fun thing for me to collect. There is another one of my wife's Nightmare for Christmas collection. And here is all 4 volumes of Zombie Powder, which it's all right. I mean, I could see why it did not do very well when it first came out. However, one of these days I might do a review of it. And here's my anime collection. Now that we got my manga collection out of the way, we get to my anime collection. And some of these I've already talked about in detail, and I haven't really got that much. I haven't really gotten that much anime ever since I last talked about my collection here. But I'm actually hankering to get more of these. Here's my PC collection, and you can tell I got these for over 20 years already. And I don't have that much to say. I didn't get that much. But, now, yes, I have Diablo 3. I do have StarCraft 1 and 2. You're probably wondering, where's my other stuff at? They're right here. Yeah, I just kind of grew out of Blizzard. I just don't really care for them as much as I used to anymore. Especially for how they're failing as a company as we speak, unfortunately. But it is what it is. And here's my Xbox 360 collection I've had for a number of years. And I'm glad I got this one used. I mean, I love the Tales franchise a lot. I mean, you can even tell right here that I got Tales of Fantasia for Super Famicom. And I mean, my first introduction was Tales of Symphonia on the GameCube when I was at E3 one year, back when we were still allowed to go to E3 at the time. And I was just like perplexed. I'm like, oh wow, this is a really interesting looking series, especially for the GameCube. And I loved it. And yes, I put who knows how many hours of time into that game. But it was worth it. And the same goes for Mass Effect 2. Look at that steel case. I love getting steel cases. I wish I could get more of these, but I mean, they're hard to ignore and pass by. There's my Xbox One game collection that I've also collected the past number of years. And here's my Game Boy Advance and DS and 3DS games as well. And yeah, that's out. Here's a bunch of my other books that I showed you before. I love reading books as well. And I've yet to find a place for Battlefield Earth. Honestly, the fact that I got this just makes me smile and laugh. I mean, it's like, what else can you say about it other than I have to watch the movie? But yeah, so Yeah, I mean, I've gotten a little bit more books, as you can tell. Like, I got some of the Maximum Ride books to put up there. I also got a couple more. And yeah, I've also finished getting all of the series of unfortunate events books. Love these books. Didn't thought the movie was okay, and the lowest of the low is the TV show, which is unfortunate. It's just disappointing. So yeah, and also I also got some new stuff that I've been meaning to read. Like, here's the Memories, Star Trek Memories of William Shatner. Hopefully, one of these days I'll get into reading this as well. Especially the fact that my wife has been getting me to watch Star Trek Voyager, which honestly, that's a really good show so far. I enjoy it. Then we got, so yeah, and there's my comic book collection. I haven't kept up with that lately, but I am planning to get more of X-Men comic books one of these days, because X-Men was always my favorite comic book series, especially from Marvel. And then we got my CD collections, which I don't really collect CDs anymore. If I'm gonna get something music, I'll just collect it on vinyl. But yeah, it's kind of a dying art one of these days, and you can tell I have a lot more space here now, and you can tell that there's a mess. It's because I'm just gonna be honest with you guys here. I've been kind of sick lately because, I mean, if you were to saw me yesterday, I would, I was not in a good place. Like, I was very ill. So my wife just told me just not to clean up that much and just, rest. But right now I'm taking this time to record this video, and she does do a lot of art stuff as well. She's been doing paint by numbers lately. And yeah, and I mean, these, like, the way how these turns out are just great, by the way, with these paint by numbers. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of paint by numbers. Well, actually, I am. I just don't really bring myself to do it. So that's basically my wife's art collection. This is my vinyl collection. I haven't gotten myself. I mean, my last record player went a bust, unfortunately. So I'm planning to get myself a new one pretty soon. And I have a lot of cool and awesome music right here. And I mean, as you can tell, like Beatles, Beastie Boys, Metallica, Queen, and all in the back, White Stripes, which is the first band I've ever got into. Basically, I'll get to more on that later. And here's our Zelda books, Hyrule Historia, Encyclopedia. There's also some other art books for Breath of the Wild, and jeez, do I? No, it's just Breath of the Wild from what I can tell. So, yeah. And then we got the rest of my house right over here. Rest of the room over here. We got the Mario lithograph that I told you that I got from Dave & Buster's. Lithograph of One Piece right there that I got for Christmas 2 years ago. Then here is a joke gift that my brother bought me for my birthday last year, that he always does. You'll see a little bit more in some other points in my video. And you know what? Still better than what you see in the new Disney Star Wars series. Just saying. And yes, I got Biff's manure car right over here. That's awesome. I will be getting the DeLorean someday. And then you have the Boba Fett's Slave 1 right here. It's an awesome piece. And we got One Punch Man poster as well, which is still awesome. And we got, from the Purple Rain album of Prince and the Revolution. Then we got Weezer from their first album that I got. My Sailor Moon wall scroll poster. Mario lithogram that I showed you. Racketeers, man. Oh man, this is actually kind of a nice story right here. I went to for those of you who have been around Hollywood, Amoeba, the record store that they have in Hollywood. And Racketeer, sometimes, a lot of times, they would always have a band being played over there in that store because that's how big the store was. And Racketeers played, and that was the first time I've ever seen Jack White that up close because I've seen him before in concert with Meg White when they're still part of the White Stripes, but to see him that close is like a whole different story that I never thought I've ever seen in my life. Then we got the Studio Ghibli special exhibit in South Korea that a friend got for me, and I just love the framing of it. I'm glad that I got the right picture frame to put it up for that. And then you got my one of my decors from Hobby Lobby. They got a poster from Rush from their album Moving Pictures. Yeah, that's what it was. Moving Pictures. Or no. The other album that I got that had the Spirited Radio song in it. I'm pretty sure you guys can help me out memorize what that was. Then you got artwork that my wife made of Jotaro and a Star Platinum, and another Zelda pick that I got from I'm trying to do this in an angle because it has a picture of me and my wife who I'm trying to avoid having any kind of exposure to because I don't want people to piece together where I live. I don't know my personal life. This is my bleach wall scroll that I've had for almost 20 years. Like I said, they were renovating my house. As you can see, that way they have the stains there. Yeah, freaking bastards. And that's an art piece I made of Mr. Saturn from Earthbound. Here's a lithograph of Dragon Ball Z, where it shows like different pictures. Dragon Ball Super. I keep getting that mixed up. Sorry about that. And this is what I got from Little Tokyo in LA when I was still living over there. Love this piece so much. I absolutely love it. Here is Master Chief holding my Xbox One controller. There's a couple of games I borrowed from my brother. And as you can tell that I'm actually playing lately as well. I love the first Mario RPG. I love the remake just as much. And Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I hope one of these days I will get to this right after I'm done with Mario RPG. This is my wife's computer. That's her little axolotl right there. There's the Steam deck that she got. It's hers. Don't know if it still works. That's unfortunate, but that's my wife's PC right here as well. And yes, it is one of those PCs that does glow. And there we go. Yeah, look at that. It made my gaming life so much easier after getting this because the other PC that I had was a piece of crap, unfortunately. Then here's the rest of my figure collection I've collected for the past number of years, and you see I only have a short number of Funko Pops. You know what? For a long time, I mean nowadays it's like many people just don't really care for Funko Pops. Well, there was a time when a lot of people did. They thought were unique and cute. Then when we got to other figures, like the ones you see right here with Sailor Moon, as well as Shanks. Stop it! Sorry, that's my dog. Oh. Sorry, I was just trying to get the dog to shut up. So, yeah, like I said, we all thought that Funko Pops was fun and all, but once we discovered other figures for other lines like Clear Rise and Bandai Namco and the lines that the brands that give us like figurines like that Sailor Moon or the hair Shanks or Luffy right there. Then we just noticed and realized that maybe Funko Pops were not that great after all. You know, I mean, we started to find other great figurines like that one, for example. That one I just got recently of Ulquiorra. Awesome figurine. You know, I mean, who would not want to have something with that good quality? I mean, the same goes for Kenpachi, Ichigo, Ishida. Well, actually, Ishida is like a different brand. not like these figures, but he's actually a pretty good figurine. And then you got the same thing for Majin Buu right up there, who is also Bond Presto, sorry. Same goes for same goes for Vegito, Goku, Super Saiyan Goku, and the list goes on and on. Some of these I got from the Wish app, like Ichigo right there. Some of these small figurines I got as a hand-me-down. Some of them from my uncle. Thank you for that as well. And I got that Dalek for Christmas. I can't reach it because it's too far up. Then you got more Dragon Ball Z figures. I think I got more Dragon Ball Z stuff up here than I have with any other from any other franchise. And they are marvelous to have. I mean, Dragon Ball Z #1 right here when it comes to collecting. Just wish I had more of the mangas and the DVDs and the Blu-rays. Then you get Shell from Portal, who's right up there. Then you got Ryuk on the back, along with I forgot her name, but she was in Uzumaki. Glad I found that figure when I had the chance. Got that bobblehead for Christmas from the same guy who gave me the Better Call Saul poster. And Misa, that was an expensive one. I don't remember. I think it was like over $50 I bought for that figure, but it's a cool figure regardless. Then all of these are like hand-me-downs or gifts from my uncle who got me the Cowboy Bebop and X-Men figures that you saw over there on the left. And it's just awesome to look at, awesome to display. They're difficult to display. They're one of those. They're just a pain to get up and standing. Like that one of Oscar right there, good example of that. And then right up to there, yeah, it's Luffy's hat as a form of a teacup. Got that for Christmas a couple years ago, like 3 years ago actually. There's my Godzilla figure. There's my King Kong deluxe edition, the extended cut figure inside, which I showed you a short of a couple of weeks ago, about like a week ago. Just wanted to keep two of the great monsters right next to each other. And here's my final figurines of Fringy, Molar, and Rags. I know that a lot of people are like wondering, why did you just keep them outside the box? Well, I like to keep them in the box. I mean, there's a couple exceptions that I keep in the box only because I charge them too much to keep them out. But if Molar, Fringy, Rags, if you're watching this and you want them out of the box, let me know, and I will keep them out. And this is the case for that me and my wife got a couple of months ago that we keep all of our stuff. Here's our wedding stuff that we kept. And hold on, let me zoom out. Here's all of her Beauty and the Beast stuff. She really loves Belle, Beauty and the Beast, and all that. And just go on down. There's more. And I'm not quite sure what this... Oh, we had this in display for a wedding. So that's what this is right here. And just... Yeah, I mean... If it ain't Nightmare Before Christmas stuff that you know what to give her, you'd also give her Beauty and the Beast. She goes crazy for that. And then right over here, we got basically most of our Nintendo collectible figures right here. My wife was... I didn't know this until recently, but she told me that she thought it was crazy for collecting cereal boxes like that. Up until she saw Nerdrotic collected the Michael Keaton Batman cereal box. And she's like, no, not anymore. And I think that one's from Nintendo of America, if I'm correct. I know it's a collectible figure. No, it's just basically it. It doesn't say anything else. And this is the only one that I got. And that's a Mushroom Piggy Bank right there. And so basically this top part is just Mario stuff. down below, you got other Mario stuff. You got Toad, who I took out for the Super Mario Brothers movie, hid inside of my pocket, my trench coat pocket. And then you have these metal figures that we got over at the Super Nintendo World and Universal Epic Universe. These are the two Happy Meal toys, both Peach and Yoshi. Here is the mushroom that the battery used to work but doesn't anymore. When you hear the doo 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 sound, there's a Goomba. And here's like the other stuff, Nintendo stuff right here that I got. This one is an old Japanese game that I can't remember. Hold on, let me see if I could take it out for a sec. So basically, this is what it is. I'm just struggling to remember the name of this game, but if you guys know what this game is and how to play it, and also if you guys know a video that's to show how to play this game, let me know in the comment section below. Just send out a link to instructions on how to play it, preferably English, obviously, and just let me know. And I know I have this all upside down, and so yeah, just give me a holler. I would like to know how to play this game. From what I heard, it's actually fun, but I mean, I do have instructions, but fortunately they're in Japanese. I got this as a birthday present many years ago. I'd say about 10 years ago, if I'm being correct. But yeah, let me know in the comment section as to what this is and how to play it. So here are my other amiibo figures. You see right here that I don't really have that big of a collection of amiibo figures. I mean, you saw one inside of my bedroom. My TV room that I got of Ness. Actually, I didn't show you the other one, but it was the Mario Party figure that I got of Mario. I'm trying to keep Samus from standing. Hold on. So yeah, I have. I mean, I didn't. I have less than 10 amiibo figures in this house. Actually, no, I think I'm wrong. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, 7 and 8 amiibo figures. Actually, I got 10 now that I think about it, because I have the Ness amiibo. And then I also have the Mario Party Mario amiibo inside of the TV room. So that's 10 in total that I got. And yeah, Samus is one of those figures it's hard to keep standing. But and then here are the Zelda and Link figures. Zelda's bow keeps snapping off, and yes, it pisses my wife off all the time. So you don't have to point out and address that, no matter how many times she fixes it. But it is what it is. So, and here's a new TV. Well, not new. I mean, we got this used as a hand-me-down from Marketplace, with the TV along with a Blu-ray player. Then we got all of our DVDs and Blu-rays right over here. Starting with 7 Reasons, which is a documentary on pro-life. Oh, I think it was on like gay, like the gay community and how to minister and witness to them. Then you have 28 Days Later. Then you end this part with Big Trouble in Little China, which is a movie I've yet to get my wife to watch. And The Breakfast Club, which is one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. Then come down with Breaking Bad, my favorite TV show of all time. Then you got Doctor Who, these are the only DVDs I got. I want to get more of the classic Who era someday. And yeah, just going down and there we got the first 2 seasons of Heroes, which unfortunately the only good seasons of Heroes. But that's a story within itself. That's like another story for another time. Then I just love how you have two Christopher Nolan movies starting with the same two letters of the name right there, both Inception and Interstellar. What's cool about this Blu-ray is that, I mean, the movie is not great, but I mean, it does have some moments, and I have an IMAX film from a shot from the movie. I mean, that's actually a cool thing to have. I mean, say what you will about the movie, but that to me is a cool thing to own. I don't love the movie, but that is something you never get something you don't always get all the time. And then you got Lost, which is another one of the shows that I'm trying to get my wife to watch, even though I know how much of a disaster that show became. The Office, I try to get my wife to watch, and she still can't like it. But I only have up to season 7 because after that, the show just, I mean, you guys know perfectly well, the show fell apart immediately after that. Then you got the RoboCop trilogy right there around the very end. You got Roseanne, which is a hand-me-down, and I do like that show, by the way, alongside with the best of Chris Farley from Saturday Night Live, which, I mean, it starts off as like a memoriam to Chris Farley. It's basically the version that came out on VHS when right after Chris Farley passed away, and he was always my favorite of Saturday Night Live, and then after that, it slowly went down a spiral abyss of just absolute garbage. Then Seinfeld came. These are the only DVDs of Seinfeld that I own. I mean, I would say that it would be much easier if the whole show just came into one big box set, but that'll be incredibly expensive. No, excuse me. Here are my Simpsons DVDs. I think we just skipped season 10 through 11 for a reason, but I think it's because we couldn't keep up with it, and as well as we couldn't pay for any more of these DVDs. And honestly, I don't blame my parents because the show just kept getting worse, as we all know. And I just hate it when DVDs jut out like this. It's so annoying. And even, look how much damage you put on this. These box sets never worked out. I don't know why they kept making them like this. And then we got Christmas of the Simpsons and The Simpsons Christmas 2 right there. Sergeant York, which is one of the best war movies ever made. And it's kind of one of those war movies that no one really remembers, nor do they talk about. And I kind of wish they do, because it has a really good gospel message in it. It's it's basically about Alan York, who was the greatest soldier who ever served in World War I. And like I said, this movie needs to be talked about more often. Hopefully one of these days I'll get to my review on it. And is this seriously the only Shrek DVD that I own? Holy crap, it is. And I've never seen this. Crazy. So, then we got Snowpiercer right there, alongside with Spaceballs. And then Spider-Man 1 and 2. No, I don't have 3, because who the hell would want to have 3? Then we got the first 2 SpongeBob movies right there, along with the first 100 episodes of SpongeBob. I never got Star Wars Episode 2, which is interesting. I felt like I should have got that a long time ago. And then you got... Oh, hold on. Then you got this awesome box art of Wrath of Khan right here. This is amazing. I'm glad I bought this before Big Lots went out of business, because this is a great artwork that they did right here for the front cover. And this is director's cut, which I don't know. I've never seen a director's cut before, so I have to watch it one day and see what the differences are, because that'll be very interesting to watch. And then after that, you got Nemesis, which I haven't seen it since it came out of theaters, so I don't know how much my mind has changed. I was very positive about the movie at first, but now looking back at it, I don't know how much how much I would either like it or hate it. That's something I have to figure out. And Truman Show, man. I just showed this to my wife 2 nights ago, and yes, I was meaning to get her to watch this movie for a long time, and I'm glad I did because this movie is remarkable. I think this is the first movie that made Jim Carrey want to go for drama, and it shows because this is easily my favorite Jim Carrey movie of all time. Better than Dumb and Dumber, better than Ace Ventura. That one takes the cake for me. And then on the end, let's see here. You got Wizard of Oz, Willy Wonka, Wayne's World, Walking Dead, and X-Men 3: The Last Stand. Then you got my VHS collection, which actually, hold on a sec. Yeah, sorry. And you got my VHS collection here, and yeah, this is one of the joke gifts that my brother got me for Christmas. And I remember when he got this for me, it was inside of a bag. I looked inside of the bag, I saw it, and I'm like, I just put it away. I'm like, I don't want to be seen with this. This is awful. I mean, Tyler Perry is an awful filmmaker. Let's just get that straight. He can't make a good anything to save his life. And the Ren and Stimpy show. This was for the longest time my favorite TV show of all time up until I saw Breaking Bad. I mean, what's there not to like about it? It's hilarious. By the way, those of you who don't know, this is actually a display copy of Ren and Stimpy. If I could find it, because this is a very rare to find type of copy that you won't find anywhere else. I'm trying to remember where it says that this is a display copy because that stands out the most when it is a display copy. So yeah, those are hard to find. Then obviously I got RoboCop right here on VHS. This is always the best way how to watch RoboCop, to my opinion. I mean, especially when you have to get that grittiness with a movie that's just graphic and gory. How would you not watch this movie on VHS or watch it in any other format and tell me that it's better than this? No, this is as good as RoboCop gets. And then you got my Godzilla and Star Trek VHS box sets. I'm missing the cover for this box right here. I wish I had it, but I don't. But I have one of my favorite pieces right here. It's not as, I don't love it as, I mean, actually, I don't know. I think it's because I think what it is about this is that I love the artwork and just showing the Enterprise right in the front. And also, and it also has the artwork, which I wish they didn't downscale it like this. It just makes the movie look really cheap. I wish they just used the movie poster entirely and not just shrink it down like that. I've always thought it was pretty stupid even the Star Wars original trilogy did that numerous times, and I hated every single release of it. It just always looks so cheap. And special longer version. Okay, this is the one. I think one of these days I'll be watching these because, yeah, I mean, hold on. Is Wrath of Khan also? Hold on. Is Wrath of Khan also? Okay, so it's just a theatrical cut. That's interesting. I want to see what this version actually looks like, if it's the longer version, because I've only seen the theatrical version, and I'm one of the few people who actually like the motion picture. I know a lot of people don't because of how slow it can be, but motion picture I really enjoy. And I showed a clip of this movie to my wife because she doesn't remember these movies very well. But this one where Spock was swimming with the whales just to communicate with them was a hilarious scene just to show her. So yeah, okay, this is a movie that I have yet to get around just to see how bad it is. That's all. And then you got the Star Wars trilogy for me to watch through. These are the ones that I watched with. The other one is a collectible. And like I said, I just love this beautiful artwork. I mean, how can you hate this? Especially like how the colors blend in with each other in the background, as well as the bottom part in the foreground. It's just incredible to look at. I mean, man, how would you want to pick any other version than what they did later on, which is basically bastardize them release after release? I know some people are gonna fight me on that. Go right ahead, I don't care. Oh, Vertigo. I love this movie. Easily my favorite Alfred Hitchcock film. And this one has, the limited edition booklet. I just forgot that this was a limited edition that I'm holding right now. I mean, holy crap. Yeah, this is easily like the best copy you ever get of Vertigo. I mean, I don't think that the DVD version did this either. And yet DVD special editions are known for going full on out. And then you got Lord of the Rings movies, VHS. You got the PC game right there. You got the DVD. The extended edition of the Unexpected Journey. And also, if I stop there, you even have the Return of the King. Yes, that had to be 2 VHS tapes because the theatrical version was already long. So that's why it's like that. You got the 3 theatrical cuts of all 3 of the movies. And yeah, this finding the extended editions on VHS is a rare thing for me to come around. This is incredible. This is the only one I got so far. Hopefully one of these days I'll get all 3 of the extended editions on VHS because this is worth finding. The fact, because I didn't know that these even came out in VHS, is the extended trilogy at all until I picked that one up. And then, obviously, you got the extended editions on DVD. I got a sealed copy of Return of the King right here. And for good reasons, because all 3 of these movies are really my favorite movies of all time. It will never be replaced. I will never find a movie that's better than that. It's just basically untouchable to me. Then you got my Tolkien books right up here, as well as more of my my wife's books. Most of the twisted tales of each and every single Disney story that was ever written. Then you got Once Upon a Time right there. And then you got the Bible action comic books that they have of each and every single story, illustrated by many different comic book artists and comic book creators to form this all together. I think that's awesome. They got more Christian books over here. My favorites are the Lee Strobel books that I got right here, the Case series, and I love Lee Strobel. He's a really good, talented writer, as well as an investigator and a journalist. That's how he actually got his start. Was the Case for Christ. He was just trying to challenge the authenticity of the Bible as well as Jesus, and he basically got witness. Just long story short, here's the other Lord of the Rings games I got right here with Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War, Lego Lord of the Rings, which is actually the best Lego game ever made. Then you got Lord of the Rings, Return of the King on the PC, which is how this is my first copy before I got the GameCube version. I hope one of these days that there will be a remake to this and remastered and just make it look better. I mean, this game was awesome enough, but I would love to see a remake of this one of these days. And Here's the other books I collected. Finding God and Lord of the Rings, as well as The Gospel According to Tolkien. These are great books. I highly recommend them for every Christian who loves Lord of the Rings to death, like me. And here's the rest of my Lord of the Rings stuff right over here. I know it's an empty space, but I'm trying to space this out. Like I said, I'm still kind of under the weather, and my wife doesn't want me to do too much work around the house. So this glass goblet I got for Christmas. And let's see here. Let me turn this on really quick just to show you what it does. Yeah, look at that. Ain't that something? That's what it does. There's 3 more of these that Burger King actually sold and gave out. I just don't have the other 3, but I would really love to find these and just collect all 4 of them, because these are awesome, by the way. Just having this alone is already an awesome piece. I mean, just look at how Gandalf just shines through that. And this my wife got over at World Market, and this is lovely bottle of California Cabernet Sauvignon. I know I'm butchering that to death, but we are not wine drinkers. I do not drink. She does, but I don't. I just don't like the taste of it, the smell of it at all. Especially when it comes to wine, but we thought this bottle looked too beautiful to pass by. I mean, just look at that. And then you got my Urukai and Legolas plushies right here on top, sitting right on top of basically a figurine I've been meaning to get like months after the Two Towers came out, because I mean, this is for the extended edition of the Two Towers, which I mean, I don't have it inside this box, and I don't need to because it's down right there. But this one, I've always wanted to get ever since I saw this at a Blockbuster. I mean, man, just look at that figure. Who wouldn't want this? This is back when most entertainment, like movie production companies, actually gave a damn to release a movie with something like this. I am very familiar with the fact that there are also Fellowship of the Ring and Return of the King. Fellowship of the Ring has these 2 figures that I got separately as bookmarks, as book holders. Sorry, and then Return of the King has a figurine of Minas Tirith, but one of these days I'll get to them someday. And you got plushies of both Gandalf and Frodo. There's Frodo, whose sword has been broken off. Stinger, sorry, has been broken off. And here is a ring wraith just guarding my Lord of the Rings figures at all times. So yeah, this is so far my room tour, my house tour. Hold on a sec, I almost forgot. Now this one I got a couple months ago in December. And I've been meaning to get a holder for this because of what it is. And here it is. And I am glad that I got this. And what you can see here is Stinger. I mean, it's not a real sharp blade, as you can tell from like the edges right there. But I am so glad that I got this. This is an awesome piece. Easily my favorite piece. My favorite Lord of the Rings piece in here. My favorite Tolkien piece that I've ever owned. This is a great collectible, and I want to get a stand for this really badly. Basically one that holds on top of the shelves. That way it could display better that way. I'm not going to put it on the wall and put screws on, especially for the fact that I'm living in an apartment complex, which is not good. But yeah, this is easily my favorite piece in my collection. I should have done a hobbies pickup on this, but I couldn't for reasons that I don't want to exploit. But yeah, don't get me wrong, it's nothing bad. I actually paid this with good money. But yeah, I love it. But yeah, I'm glad that it's here in our family, in our household. So yeah. And I also forgot to mention my consoles right here down below. The NES, which unfortunately doesn't work anymore, which is why it's here for display. My favorite console of all time, the Super Famicom, or as I like to call it, the Super Nintendo, with my favorite game of all time, of the two, as we all know it in America, is Earthbound. And then you got the Retron 5 that currently has Link to the Past in there, or as the Japanese would call it, Triforce of the Gods. The GameCube, which I've had for 20 years and still runs really well, alongside with the Wii, which I bought used, which meant that it came with a bunch of pre-downloaded games in there, which is awesome. I love that. And the good old N64. Had so many memories of this. I played way too many Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, and also too much of a Turok 2 with the multiplayer in that game, which I gotta admit, Turok 2 was the only reason for why I've never heard of GoldenEye until 2005 when X-Play reviewed GoldenEye Rogue Agent. Yep, that's how I discovered GoldenEye. Was through that game that people have said is really bad. And you know what? I still haven't played GoldenEye. So there's that, but I did watch the movie though, which does have my favorite line in the film, which was Pierce Brosnan saying, "Oh, she always liked a tight squeeze." So yeah, that's the update of my house, my room tour, and my entire collection, as well as my wife's collection that you see here in this room. I know I didn't get to everything, like that lawyer up license plate right up there. That I am more than willing to get all the other license plates from both Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, like Namaste or Captain, Playa, but this is what we got, and I'm glad that you guys came in. Those of you who like this, thank you for watching, thank you for liking. I also ask you please continue to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment down below as to what you think. What's your favorite piece here? Just let me know down in the comment section, guys. And yeah, my wife was doing a little bit of arts and crafts here, in between the takes, but so that's why you still have some sort of a mess here. But yeah, let me know in the comment section what you think. Like I said, I'll repeat myself again: like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you, and share the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.